All right, welcome back. It's still Metrofire right here on Channels Television. Now, the humanitarian crisis in the northeastern part of Nigeria brought some personalities together for a dinner in Lagos with the United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Edward Kalun. And this is to look for ways to respond to the crisis by getting the business community involved. Take a look.
The humanitarian crisis in the northeastern part of Nigeria may have been overlooked by the world, but now a major concern. And this has made some distinguished personalities to take the bull by the horn. And this dinner with the United Nations resident and humanitarian coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Edward Kalun, is to fashion out ways to respond to the crisis. Adamawa, Borno and Yobe are the three states mostly affected in Nigeria, and the Minister of State for Budget and Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, wants prompt action to help the internally displaced persons.
The UN system has established a country-based pool fund for Nigeria, and this fund is meant to be a multi-donor humanitarian financing instrument where contributions can be pooled and they will be earmarked and allocated by the humanitarian coordinator through an in-country consultative process. This fund will be allocated based on identified humanitarian needs and priorities in-country. There is also a moral imperative upon each and every one of us as Nigerians to do our part in reducing the suffering of our fellow countrymen wherever they are. Putting money in the fund will reduce debts, will improve on the levels of malnutrition, it will help to provide shelter and clean water, and ensure that our children are given an education and they have a fighting chance to face the future. As business leaders in our economy, it is important for you to set the example for others to follow.
Involving the private sector in this project has become very important, so says Mr. Edward Kalun, who adds that the sum of $1.5 billion is urgently needed for the rehabilitation of the victims of Boko Haram insurgency.
The government, the international community, and other partners are trying to do their best to try to reach out to this population. So my task here is to add a human face to what the minister has described excellently for you, and also to try to call on the private sector to get engaged in this effort. One, to save lives in the short time, and two, to engage in rebuilding Northeast Nigeria. I want us, as we start this presentation, to look at it as an opportunity to bring back hope to people that have been distressed, an opportunity to re-engage, to improve on the livelihood of people that have been decimated as a result of this nuisance of Boko Haram.
After all said and done, dinner was served.
There was clearly very poor coordination of all the partners. As a result of that, the president responded by putting together an InterMinisterial task force, which my ministry, the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, was made to lead. This task force has all the key sector MDAs, that is to say health, agriculture, education, water resources, infrastructure, and some other agencies that have specific roles to play in the humanitarian response. And since then, what we've done is we've reached out to the humanitarian partners, the UN system. Together, working with them, we have been able to strengthen the coordination effort. It's still not the way it is supposed to be, but there has been great improvement.
The situation no doubt has evoked concerns from everyone, while the appeal seems to have caught the interest of the business community. Trust is, however, a major concern.
The first way that you must deal with trust is transparency. You find that as long as people can see directly from source to end, and they have a very transparent line of sight from how money is applied, then you find that people can deal with it. Trust is always something you can deal with. It's something that can be dealt with. So the issue is that can we create trust so that I know that if I spend 1 naira, at the end of the day, it is actually reaching, 1 naira is getting to the end. And you can then deduct whatever costs you are, but you know line of sight from beginning to the end. And that's what the private sector is about. They want to know that if I give money, it gets to the end. And we can create that trust.
Yes, I think I'm going to take the information back to them that yes, we've lost quite a number of industries there, and there's an effort now by government working in partnership with United Nations to revive the situation and bring back life into the community. So on our own, we are going to support the process by providing information about those industries that are closed and suggesting what can be done to quickly get them back to business. We are going to start to mobilize resources. And I must say it here that even in the process of resolving these issues, in providing humanitarian assistance, it is important that we patronize locally made products.
With almost 8.5 million people in urgent need of humanitarian assistance, guests who attended this event left with one thing on their minds, and that is urgent action need to be taken to bring stability to the region within the shortest possible time, so that life can return to normal for these people.
At least a step in the right direction. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap on the show today. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Remember that you can watch this and previous editions of the show on channelstv.com. You know where to find us on screen. Hit us up and let's continue the conversation online. And also hit up with the number blinking on your screen. Also remember that this edition of Metrofile repeats tomorrow at 12 noon. And the fresh edition comes up on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. with a repeat broadcast on Wednesday, 11 p.m. So please, please, please do watch out for it. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you again next week. Goodbye.